Right, guys, we're going to be on the Shogun, and then we're going to be on episode number 4. So we're going to go, but the Shogun's got his playlist going, so don't forget to have a look at the Shogunate. And you've then also got Sengoku Studies there with his FX Shogun 2024 Historical Authenticity, which is very good. Great on him for getting 16k views on that. That's mint. And his other one there, General Thoughts, 4.8k views. So go and see these guys. But let's get on with episode 4. Also, by the way, guys, I was told I got something wrong last week. Come in to get something wrong, so I'll investigate that at the end. Just a bit of basic information. First of all, these towns are excellent, aren't they? They look really good. Sets look superb. Usually when they do things like this I know it's filmed in Canada, but when normally they do things, they just go to the set they use for everything. It's just outside Tokyo, if I remember rightly, and I've been there. It's like a theme park, but also a set for a movie, and it's every film ever has been there. Now, these messengers. Now, I don't know if it's these specific messages themselves, but there is one type of messenger that I think, and I'm doing this from memory, guys, so please don't tell me off if I get it wrong. They have up to 3 kills a year. I think they were allowed, like, it was like the postman is allowed to shoot you 3 times in the year. If you interfere with them and stop official messages getting through, you can be executed for it. So I think they were allowed to like 3 kills a year. It's something crazy like that, but it's something I remember doing years ago that I can't quite remember where I got the information from. It was with Yoshie or Miyako, something like that, but good fun. Right, I'm getting a bit fed up with these 17-foot wakazashis. Now, apparently I got it wrong last time because I thought he said, well, I'll check at the end of the video, it says, give us your katana, and he takes this up, but apparently it's his wakizashi. Normally, you do find, this is why they look like they're in bulk buy, these things. When you look at historical photographs towards the end of the Edo period, you tend to find most of them have very small wakizashi, almost tanto or chisai katana, and instead of these longer ones. It's something that somebody could do, actually. Somebody, maybe Scott from Sengoku Studies, is the official length and everything of wakizashi, because these just appear way too long for me for what they're doing. And I'm not sure yet, I haven't seen it, but I assume he shouldn't be the door warden. Basically, all samurai households have a door warden who lives in the gatehousey type part. So there's a servant. They don't open their own gates, basically. They'll send a servant out to collect the messages. And because in Japanese culture, you don't just sort of like knock on, you try and get an invite, or you know, send a letter of invitation. You then got to try, and there's lots of ways in Japan that somebody can say, no, I don't want to come out to play today. So it turns out it does appear to be the master of the house, and there's no way, in my opinion, there's no way he would have left that house doorway without putting his katana on. He wouldn't come to his own garden gate without his katana on. You literally do not leave the house without putting it on. Again, that you could debate that as in he's not technically left his house, he's in his garden, but it's like you don't go to your gate unarmed with just your side. To me, it seems not correct. This is brilliant. First of all, every samurai must have a fan. It said he is naked without a fan, and they did use them for battle signs. This is perfect. We have absolute documentation of this from around the same time, or roughly a bit after. And it's like, yes, you take out your fan and you will command the people. And this is where he gives the great shout. Now, I've not actually videoed anything because I got video striked for taking a video of a bloody screen. So I can only tell you about it, guys. Now, Matt Easton from Scholar Gladiatora, he's done a video on this section, and it's just come up in episode 4. And he's saying, now I would have no idea, he's saying these pistols are too late for this period. They're roughly from the late 1600s to early 1700s. And that not only that, you hear him cocking them, but they're not actually cocked. Now, I did send Matt Easton's video to Gun Samurai, and Samurai Gun Samurai, I always get them wrong, and he said he's away at the minute. He was going to have a look or have a check, because I don't know what pistols were around in Japan at this time, so it'd be really interesting. But it's good that Matt pointed out there's they're uncocked, and now just listening to it, you can hear him cock them, but they're not actually, or it doesn't seem that they are cocked. Okay, talking about guns, here's a question from Matt Easton and probably Gun Samurai. These cats, so in this scene, William Adams, as he is basically, Blackthorn, teaches them to be accurate with cannon. Now, one thing we never think about with the samurai is them using cannon in battle, but it was there. but it implies that they were not very good. Now, what a lot of people don't realise is that the Japanese are excellent with guns and muskets, etc. They were really good with them, and they'd had, by this point, 50 years of training, and were pretty much, and we were mass producing guns, okay, and they were using them well. So I just don't know their history of cannon. So maybe Matt Okuhara or well, Matt O'Hara for this one could tell us the history of the cannon in Japan and all that, and maybe Matt Easton might have something to say on the use of cannon in the West around the year 1600. This woman keeps popping up, and I'm just guessing she's going to be the spy, just because she's in the right place at the right time to be hearing things. And her name is Kiku, which is probably Japanese for listen. So I don't know if that's intentional or not, but there's a bit of a sort of maybe a play on words there. The more and more I watch this, while the costume is, I think, very good. I think, if I remember rightly, Scott from Sengoku Studios was not impressed with the costume. But the more and more I watch this, the more they look like really off-the-shelf, bulk-ordered display katana. Because you don't often get to see them up close, and this looks really much like the fake hamon, the fake handle, the fake plastic skin. You know what I mean? If you're going to do an up-close shot, get an original. Maybe I'm wrong, guys. Maybe it's just looking through the lens. Maybe it's thingy, but it does not look, you know, very, very good, this sword. It just looks a bit too like a sort of a higher quality, cheap display sword. But they should have gone to town on these, I think. Okay, guys, he's about to try natto for the first time, which is basically fermented beans, right? And when you live in Japan, there's two types of food. There's two types of Japanese food. Japanese food that the Japanese eat, and Japanese food that the rest of us can stomach. And natto. And they're having a joke about this entire scene, and he doesn't have to try natto. It is the vilest thing you have ever tasted, guys. It is disgusting. Okay, I complained about the violence not being very good in this show and being a bit lackluster. It just stepped it up a notch by about 6,000 times. Yeah, spoiler here, but basically they get shot by cannons. Oh my god, it was awesome. Okay, drama is good, very, very good. I'm enjoying it very much. It is well on par with the original. I've never read the book, so I'm not sure about the book, but yes, 10 points. Let's have a look at last week's mistakes. Okay, in episode 3, I said that this night attack was a bit... they were using fire arrows to hit them. And I said you won't really use that except to burn things down. And people said, well, actually, it's probably to illuminate the source. And that is a good point. It is a good point. They do use fire to illuminate. Normally, they have throwing torches. So they throw torches into an area. But yes, they can illuminate absolutely with fire arrows. The only reason I didn't say that in the 3rd episode is because they're literally all carrying torches. It's like it's well illuminated. So it is, yes, I agree, you probably could use them to illuminate the situation, but I didn't go for that because there's just torches everywhere in this procession and they could just pick them off one by one without revealing where their own positions are, which would have been much better tactically. This is where I did genuinely make a mistake and it was my fault. He takes his katana off here in episode 3, and last week I said, why is he only walking with one sword? And I didn't see this bit. As I flicked between them, I didn't notice that he takes the katana off there, and people noted that out for me, so thank you very much, guys. Oh, I'll try and do this without getting bloody a strike from YouTube, but this is what's the confusing bit, is he takes his katana off and he walks in with his wakizashi, which I missed, but then he also says, please can I have your katana? Now, in Japanese, listen to this. So let's see if I can get away with this. Hold on, let's see. Right, are you ready for him to say katana even though he's only got his wakizashi on? See, katana oh. So I thought he said, oh right, give us your katana. I hadn't noticed him give the katana outside. But actually the word katana in Japanese can actually just mean blade. So it can be like saying pass me your blade over. So I don't know, but my Japanese is not good enough for the sentence structure to know whether they've actually gone back and said, yes, you can use the word katana for wakizashi, or the writers have not realised he says katana and he's already given his katana away. I don't know, guys. So I was wrong, but come on. I was listening to the Japanese and he just said, give me your katana, when that sword looks quite long as well. So I was really confused by it, to be honest, because I'd missed that scene as he walks in and passes it over.